Baba sent me a message saying, child, you're the first Kumari and the first teacher of Africa. That's when I realized, otherwise I never remembered, that I was the first Kumari and the first teacher of Africa. And so what does that mean to you? Not that it boasts your ego, but it creates more responsibility. And then that's when I remembered I have to make people like me, equal to me. And so I have a lot of responsibility. Whatever I do, others will follow, whether they follow or not. But my responsibility is that I must be careful and be attentive. And of course, Lokik nature, the Lokik father, Kaka, actually created that in us, all four brothers and sisters, that you must never be scared of anything. If you really want to be scared, just be scared of untruthfulness and dishonesty, nothing else. I was in a county in Kenya, which is very war-torn area. People fear that area a lot. It's like Al-Qaeda area, Al-Shabaab area. And so I wanted to go there. And a lot of people told me, you can't go there, it's dangerous. And I felt I wanted to go. I wanted to go and serve. And I was, doing pause for base in one or two banks in a very safe area. And one of the person, the manager told me, I come from that area. I said, have you got friends there? Because I would like to go there. He says, that's fine. I'll give you the contacts. I'll even inform them they're working for the same branch and they will receive you. Now, to go was a story. So I was just talking to one of our Kenyan friends who was hosting us in Lamu. And so I said, I want to go to this area, And they say that, yeah, we know a person who drives there. He takes a car, a taxi. We can hire it. I said, all right. But at night, last thing, a few Brahmins, souls told me, don't dare go there. Please, we're telling you, it's very dangerous. So I didn't want to do a service where I create more problems for Brahmin family, but I definitely wanted to go and serve the souls. So I just slept over it. Next day morning, Amritwila, I did my Amritwila and told Baba, Baba, if you want me, please give me a signal. Otherwise, I'll just leave it. And the next thing I hear is I got a phone call. And this person said, I'm the cab driver and I can take you there, Tana River. I said, how much and what and how. He gave me a lot of confidence. So we were two sisters and said, all right, we want to go. And we started our journey. It wasn't a very easy journey, quite scary. So, I don't show fear outside, but deep down in the mind, there was a little concern. Baba, let us all go safely and come back safely so I don't create any problems for anyone. And when we arrived there, these people were so happy. The souls very happy because the media, the political situation neglects that area and nobody wants to go there. Even the government is supporting, but they're very, fearful, everybody. But when I arrived there, they were so happy. And this soul told me, the person who was with us from the bank, say, sister, you've come all the way here to bring the message of peace to all of us. And that is love for us, humanity. So even if I have to spare a couple of hours from my work to help you, I am more than happy. And he spent the midday, half a day with us, and we did programs there. We did pause for peace for his company and other places. And before dark, we left again and we came back safely. And I was thanking Baba and Drama so much that Baba, we had a thought that we wanted to go physically to that place. Of course, we can go through the mind also and do service through the mind, which we've been doing now in the lockdown. But I wanted to go there in person and meet souls, and this is how I was in Somalia. And for pause for peace, I was only alone with Baba, nobody. So when I took the flight from Addis Ababa, people were looking at me. This Indian lady in a white sari is going to Somalia for what? Huh? Because in Somalia, we do have a lot of foreigners, but they're in the green zone, not in the red zone. And they're all maybe the police and, the UN and all these people, the Peace Corps and all that. But nobody who looks like me in a white sari, spiritual Indian lady. So they were all looking at me on the flight. And I kept on telling myself, look, the flight attendants are ladies. And they come all the way here, to serve. So why can't I come? And so that was fine. But when I came to the immigrations and they were trying to, give me permission to enter the country, Mogadishu, in the city, they asked me why I want to come to Somalia, you know. And it was interesting with a clean and a clear intellect. I said, I was born in Africa and I've been serving in Africa and the world. I've seen the whole world, but I haven't seen my continent yet. The only picture and vision my continent is through media, maybe newspapers or television. And so I would love to go and see that land. I would love to touch this land and give the peaceful vibrations to this land. I don't just want to depend on media. And they felt so good. They said, wow, that's wonderful. Thank you for doing that. So they don't understand service. So I said, when I have my annual leave, I decided to come here and spend some time here rather than go and see the world. And they were just so appreciative that thank you for coming. Of course, I was not allowed to go into the red zone, but I was in the green zone for 4 days and I did pause for peace for the people there. And it was very interesting how, their mind is constantly in doubt and fear. And so I was just walking. I could walk in the green zone, but even in the green zone, there were limited areas. And I was walking around near the airport outside, and I had my bag because my documents and things were in there. So suddenly, a few soldiers came and surrounded me, with their machine guns. And I have no idea what they were talking. It was Arabic. And I said, what happened? What did I do? I was just walking around. But can you imagine in that part of the world, to walk is even a crime, sort of, yeah, because they feel so scared, insecurity. And so they told me to put my bag away. They brought the sniff dogs, they sniffed me, they sniffed the bag, and then they put my bag into the X-ray, and then they said, okay, madam, you can go, sorry. And I asked, what was it? So one of the person told me that we have so many car bombs and, human bombs and all that, bomb blast, that they doubt every person walking around. So can you imagine in Iron Age, we've taken the basic human rights that you can't even walk in open air. And that is human beings who has created so much barriers and borders. Anyway, I was fine. I got scared because they surrounded me in a circle with these machine guns and soldiers, but I didn't know what it was. And then I just went back to my hotel. But I was just sitting there for my evening meditation and I said, Baba, thank you. Thank you for giving me these experiences because my brothers and sisters are going through this quite often. And if I stay in my comfort zone and, my beautiful protected Baba's houses, I would never ever know what the people of the world are going through. Of course, that doesn't mean that you must go into dangerous places every now and then and create problems, but this was just an experience I'm sharing. Detached and loving. When I'm detached, I don't get involved. So I don't even get emotionally involved. Detached and then loving. And in that way, it doesn't touch you. I've had so many experiences like that. So last year, I spent a lot of time in North Africa. And North Africa, to get visa is also another story because it's Islamic countries. But I traveled in all of the North African countries. And I was in Sahara, Western Sahara, which is not officially yet, declared as a country, but they themselves believe that they are different from Morocco. And I was there. And again, the same thing, when I was going, I had no idea where I was going. I didn't know anything. And I was on the flight, and an Indian brother came to me. He was from Pakistan, a Muslim brother. And he says, "Sister, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Leon, Lion, that is Western Sahara. And to do what, And I was also in a question mark what to tell him. But anyway, that's it. We talked, and he was on the flight with us. He was with, I think he was with the peace, what UN peace something. Anyway, so then when I finished everything, the immigrations and all that, and I went out, he was waiting for me, and he says, "Sister, I want to drop you to your hotel. I don't want you to go in the taxi." So he was very kind enough to take me to the hotel. And there I met so many different nationalities, and I was sharing cause for peace with them. And I even stayed there for 3 days, and it was very good service. So one step of courage and multi-million fold Baba's help. This is the experience of the version Baba talks about every now and then. This is my experience. But if I don't take one step of courage, then I will not experience the multi-million fold help. And that one step of courage is not this physical step, it's the mental step. First, I have to be very courageous here. And then, of course, the physical. I was a very, very, what should I say? Very, I don't know the correct word, but I would say I was a very sentimental person in my Lockett life. Even as a child, I used to express my sentiments a lot, always getting involved in people's emotions and all that. And I go back like I was in kindergarten, maybe. I was just 4.5 year old, and I was in class, and our teacher asked why this young boy is not in class today. Why is he absent? And his friends mentioned that he lost his mother. Can you imagine 4.5 year old? And he lost his mother, so there's funeral and all that. And it touched my heart so much. My mind started thinking so much. Who's going to dress him to school? Who's going to pack his lunch? Because my mom does all these things for me. And who's going to do all that? So next day he came very shabby in class after 2 or 3 days. And everybody was laughing at him. And it affected me a lot. So you can imagine how I was as a soul. It affected me a lot. I had a huge lunchbox, so I started sharing with him in school. And so, that's how emotional and sentimental I was. When I came to the Brahma Kumaris, I knew I had to change this. It doesn't work, you know. And I started working on myself that I don't want to change my sentiments. Let it be there the way they are. But what I want to do is connect it to Gyan. So, for example, if I feel somebody is deprived of food or food or clothes, I would love to share that. It's okay, I'll share food, but let me give a lot of vibrations to the soul that their karmic account changes and turns into something else. So I had this soul working for me in the center. She was a domestic helper. Naturally, a domestic helper receives such little, wages. But I always felt rather than giving her so much physically, let me give her good wishes and pure feelings all the time. So I replaced that, feeling merciful and sorrowful with
Too much. Okay, I think I think she's frozen now.
Om Shanti. All right. So it's not that I have to support them physically all the time and carry them through, but my thoughts and my state of mind will also help. In fact, it didn't only help the opposite person, but it helped me more to become detached and loving. And when I recognized that my emotions and sentiments has changed, is when we started our serve Africa. We moved out of the comfort zone and moved into places where it was so remote and no structure and so much of poverty and a lot of things. And I remember we had one soul who came to help us from Europe. She was very lovely soul, but what happened was that she was sent for a reconnaissance into a country. And that country was not so bad, mind you. It was fine. But she met this lady who was working for her, and her daughter had illness. And this person, the Brahmin, a white body Brahmin, got so involved in this maid's daughter, you know, to the extent where she stopped serving in South Africa. She went back to her country. She adopted this girl. She adopted and she took her to Europe because she can't just take an African girl from Africa to Europe without adopting, you know. And then she treated this, but we lost her as a Brahmin, you know. That's when I realized that if I was still that, sentimental person, Maya would have taken me back into the world.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that sentiments of poverty, you know, pain, fear will pull you into that world. But otherwise, if I am detached and loving, so I did whatever I made efforts, it helped me to be safe and make others, safe. This is my dharana. And now I don't get affected with anything which I see because it's fine because we know, we understand karma philosophy, we understand the part, the time, a lot of things. I mean, when I was in Somalia, that fine morning in the hotel, they came to tell me that today we've lost one of our staff in car bomb. He was coming to work and he was standing there and the car bomb blasted and he died. Can you imagine? And they were all very sad in the hotel. The hotel was very beautiful, run by Turkish, but the staff is Kenyan, Somalis, other African people. And so this boy was a Somali boy who died very young. I mean, so many people in this iron age die in this way, unexpected. Now, we can't get affected with all these things because then we are getting involved in their karmic accounts also. But when you understand this fine line, then you have to be detached and loving. And how do you become detached and loving is again tapasya. A lot of tapasya is needed for that. Not only detached and loving tapasya, but just tapasya. What we did in COVID lockdown, it was unconditional, not limited tapasya. Silence was unlimited. Baba's remembrance was unlimited, and wherever it needs to go, it will go. It will provide. So that's what I experienced.